All right, it's a little after 6. We're going to go ahead and start the regular scheduled board meeting. We've already had the invocation and the pledge, so we move right on into the meeting. Item number 1 is approval of minutes from August 8th and August 12th, budget workshops, August 20th, regular scheduled board meeting, and part of a workshop, and August 29th, emergency meeting. Any questions or changes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Fleming. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hill. Last chance for changes. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to the consent agenda, we have item 2 through 15. Do you have any items that wish to be pulled for discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask Mr. Harris a question about 15.
All right, we'll pull item 15
Yes, sir.
and item 12. Any others? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve 2 through 11, 13, and 14.
So moved.
Was that you, Mr. Richardson?
Yes.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Richardson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hale. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 12 is to approve recommendation to reject single bid number 1920-20, or not, 2019-22, and authorization to rebid. After looking over this, I feel that once we open a bid, look at a bid, we shouldn't rebid it. And so that's kind of my stance on it, and I wanted to be heard about it. And I'll open that up for any conversation if anyone has anything.
I'll make a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
It's too high,
I understand.
way too high. It isn't even close. I was hoping that I could work on that and get it down, but it isn't even in the same ballpark. It just needs to, it's a situation where I think a contractor has plenty of work, and this isn't uncommon, you'll find this. They have plenty of work, and they'll take another project if they can make a whole lot more on it than what the market would typically bear. And in this particular case, I don't think the taxpayer should have to bear that. And I think we can generate more interest in it.
Well, that's a chance we take sometime when we go out to bid. We don't always like the numbers that come back, but I think once you open a number and look at it, and then don't like it, and you go back out to bid for it, you put that particular contractor in a situation now, everybody knows their number and where they're at. It's back to the same thing I've talked about before, it's the integrity of the bid process, and I want to maintain that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Question. What was the, can I ask the total bid? Just the number?
It was close to $20,000.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
if I may ask, I mean, when you say high, like double what it should be, or triple, or?
Give me 1 second, let me do some quick calculating. It was a whole lot more. I think it's about $10,000 high, at the very least. This bid didn't even include the material for the project. It was just when they turned it in, it was a labor only, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. When you add labor to it, though, it comes in considerably higher than what industry numbers are. And Commissioners, I'm just going to tell you, it isn't unusual to get an outrageous number. We get outrageous numbers in a lot of our bids. Fortunately, we usually get multiple bids. In this particular case, we didn't. My hope was that we would open it and it would be a good number. I had no idea. In fact, I was shocked. I think I expressed my shock when it came back to us, or we opened it. But in any event, I mean, I don't see anyone in this room spending that kind of money on their own if they were building a house or undertaking a project of their own and having a number that's just outrageously high.
Well, outrageously high, maybe stretching it just a little bit. I mean, it's high,
I
but
don't think so. I don't think it's outrageous. I mean, that's stretching it. I think it is outrageously high.
Anyway, I made my case, and I wanted to be heard on it. If anyone else has any questions or anything, I didn't want to vote on it on consent because I wanted to get that off my chest. So,
I may be sticking my foot in my mouth by saying this, but that's just me. But I agree with the sentiment of that we definitely want to maintain the integrity of the bidding process. But logically speaking, if those numbers are, I mean, do we want to spend an extra $10,000 on a job that's going to cost $10,000 less? This is not grant money, this is our money. So, but I don't know which way to go with it, because can't maintain the integrity of the bid process and then also give somebody an extra bonus just for doing the job because he's the only one who bid.
Part of the integrity of the bid process, though, is ensuring that you have a decent number. It isn't just the advertisement and how you handle the advertisement and how you open it. So I'll just give you an example. When we advertise these things, they don't come to county administration. They go to the clerk's office, and they stay with the clerk until they're opened publicly, and the numbers are read aloud, right here in this building. But the other part of the integrity of the process is ensuring that the taxpayers aren't exposed to a number that's just too high. And in this case, it is high.
And it's not like we haven't done this before.
we are, and I didn't like it last time we did it. I mean, that's just where I stand on it. I mean, yeah, we've done it before, and the board's moved forward with it. I mean, that's fine. I just,
Mr. Chairman, I mean, I understand you're taking offense with it, but I mean, if somebody that's in the construction business believes, or that has been in it, believes that it's 2 times the amount that it cost, I mean, got to give a little credibility there to what he's saying. I mean,
I'm not sure that it's 2 times less than what it costs. That's the other thing that I'm dealing with is.
I could give you some actual numbers that I'm very familiar with, but I intentionally did not want to disclose the number associated with this. But I'm telling you, it's far in excess of what it should be.
If y'all want to move forward with it, I mean, that's fine. I wanted to state where I was at on it, and I just think that we bid it out. Take it away this type of job it is and put it out as a road project. If we did the same thing, we'd be under a lawsuit. If we were exposing someone's numbers in a $2 million contract for a road and then snatched it out and said, nope, we're not going to award it because we believe we can get it cheaper, and we re-advertised it.
You just wouldn't do the job because you wouldn't have the money to do the job. That's what would happen. DOT.
Well, that may be the case. You might not do the job, but you wouldn't rebid it because it would open you up to a lawsuit. And this is a smaller scale and may not open us up to a lawsuit, but it may. I mean,
well, it says in the contract, I'm certain, that we have the right to refuse any and all bids. I'm sure there's language in there.
Every one of our advertisements says that,
does it say solely based on price, or, I mean?
for any reason.
That,
It says something along the lines of, for any reason that we determine that it's in the best interest of the public to reject the numbers.
now, also, I mean, there's some steps you could take moving forward, like DOT does, I mean, or used to. If it's 10% over what you can do an estimated budget on what you think the job ought to be, and if they bid 10% over it, then they have a right to pull it, and rebid it. I mean,
Well, I wouldn't.
there's different avenues.
Moving forward, I wouldn't mind having something in place that if it is only one bid submitted, either we don't open it, or we have a percentage in place that says if it's over what we think it should cost. Because I just feel like it's unfair for somebody to go through the process, work it, expose their number, and then say, no, thank you for submitting. We're going back, because I guarantee you, yeah, it's in our best interest. Absolutely, the prices are going to come back lower. I mean, obviously, if everybody knows what the number is, they're not going to come back higher. But you put somebody through the process first time, they the only bid, they're the only one that submitted it, and I don't know, it just loses. I put myself in that place as a business owner. If I was the one to lose the bid, it would tick me off a little bit that nobody else bothered to apply, and I'm losing it because I did and you didn't like the price. But,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
I mean, I agree with you. I think me and you argued one side of this before with this board of the bidding process. You know, but I think more so our argument was how it was bidded and how it was sent out to be bid upon
All right.
versus, I think, what we're talking about here. I may be wrong.
I'm not going to sit here and beat it. I mean, whatever y'all, whichever way y'all decide to go is what we'll do. I just wanted to get my 2 cents out on it. Anyone have anything else, or anybody want to offer a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll go ahead and move this one. Mr. Hancock, would you like to second that?
Yes. Somebody up here say something.
Mr. Clyde, how do you feel about this?
Well, I didn't want to chime. Like I said, we've done it before, and it worked out. I know I can agree. I know how individuals feel, may feel, but we're in business. We are in business, and I feel like if I got someone to do something for me and they're gonna do it at a lower price, and quite naturally I want to go, with the lower route, the lower price. So I want it to be neutral. I want it to be, I want to be fair, but at the same time, we are in a business.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think I'm coming down on a side on this thing. If we, I had a job that I had to get done just recently at my house, and I asked one guy, by the way, for a price. He gave me his price, and I told him, thanks, but no thanks. If I can do that at home, I should be able to do that at the county. Regardless of the situation, we have the legal right to do it. The only thing I feel bad about was asking for a number to judge by. But bottom line is I think that we should be able to do it. So I recommend, I move that we accept the recommendation.
Second.
You making a motion to
Accept the
approve the
recommendation.
recommendation to reject the bid?
Yes.
I got a motion by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Stapleton. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, aye. All right, moving on to item 15, renewal of contract with J.B. Coxwell Contracting for natural disaster debris removal to use on an as-needed basis. Mr. Harris, or Mr. Fleming, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to know, I've been asked before about J.B. Coxwell. They were the one that did the clearing out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are the one that move all the debris during, like, when hurricanes or whatever disaster that we have.
They do them, no.
No.
They do them in other locations, but we have never utilized. This is really just in place in case we ever actually had a true disaster that we could not handle ourselves.
So far, in all the
But we have,
storms we've had, we've handled it in-house.
Okay,
This is just if it's above and beyond what our crews can handle.
that's right,
okay, I just want to make that plain.
right.
Thank you.
That's when it hits the fan for real. So do I have a motion to approve the renewal of contract with JB Coxwell?
Motion approved.
Motion by Commissioner Fleming. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stapleton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Time-specific items, item 16 at 6 PM there, or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard. Hold a public hearing to discuss with possible board action adoption of the final rate resolution for fire protection for 1920. Mr. Harris?
Do you want to present the numbers first and then open it for public comment? Is that how you want to handle this?
Yeah, I
Up to you.
can. What's the number on that's $100? I don't have all of them.
I have it.
You have them?
On fire protection,
Yes, sir.
your residential, what's proposed for residential rate per dwelling unit is $100, which is no change. And then non-residential would be 12 cents a square foot up to 179,000 square feet. Vacant land less than 160 acres is $17.91 per parcel. Vacant land greater than 160 acres up to a maximum of 640 acres is 14 cents an acre. No increase from prior year. That's what's proposed.
All right, this time we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak at the public hearing, if they would stand and be sworn in.
If anybody out there thinks that they may have a comment, please stand. Now, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give before the board this evening will be the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Now, as you come to the podium at the appropriate time, not yet, but at the appropriate time, make sure you state your name and address. Thank you.
All right.
My name is Cynthia Seither. I live in Wilmore, Kentucky, but I have a parcel of land down here. Concerning the fire and the solid waste, it says that that is assessed per dwelling unit. And it says the total number of residential dwelling units on the above parcel is 1. This is incorrect. It is empty land. The only improvement that we've done is put a fence around it at the suggestion of the sheriff, because evidently some kind of undesirable people would come and camp there to go over to the music park for free. And that's all that's there yet. There's no dwellings or no buildings of any kind.
We can help you get that
I
straightened
think so.
out.
We can take care of that.
Okay.
Not here, but that'd be up at either the tax collector or the property appraiser's office where they can verify that it is vacant land and then have it removed from the tax roll.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? If not, at this time, we'll close public comment. Any comments or questions from the board?
No, sir.
I have a motion to approve the final rate for the fire protection.
Second.
Motion to approve it by Commissioner Richardson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Fleming. Any further discussion? Hear none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, moving on to item 17 at 6 PM.
Close that public hearing. and open-
Close that public hearing, and we'll move into our next public hearing. At 6 PM, or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, hold a public hearing to discuss possible board action, the adoption of the final rate resolution for solid waste for 1920. Mr. Harris, you got the rates for that?
Similar to the prior hearing, solid waste assessment per household rate is being proposed with no increase at $130 per household.
Anyone wishing to speak at this hearing, would they please stand and be sworn in? All right, seeing none, we'll open public hearing, and since nobody was sworn in, we'll go in once. We'll close public hearing. Any questions, changes by the board? Comments? So I have a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Fleming, second by Commissioner Stapleton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. This time, we'll close public hearing. Moving on to staff reports, Mr. Harris, Public Works, County Administrator, you got any updates for us?
I have a couple questions for you, actually. If you'll give me 1 second, I'll try to find them. You received let me first just announce that we received a letter from Representative Brannon's office. The annual delegation hearing is scheduled for Monday, September 30th at 9 o'clock at City of Live Oak City Hall. If you want to just make a note of that, September 30th at 9 o'clock. And we'll get that out on the website as well. Question I had was, and some of you may remember this discussion with the Association of Counties, a public awareness fund. We received a notice on our dues that we pay every year, but in addition to our regular membership dues, we had a request for payment into a public awareness fund. Our part of that, and this is something the entire association voted on, so every county will be participating. Our part is $2,153. Do any of you remember that discussion in your meetings,
I do.
your FAC meetings? Okay. It's a new expense to us. If the board wants me to go ahead and pay this, I'll do it.
What was the previous price?
Well, before they had that, you just had your regular annual membership dues for the county. So that's $5,000 and change. This is another $2,153. And I think that, I mean, my assumption is, because I wasn't there, that this is really to help get the message out when some type of legislation is being proposed that they want to alert all the counties to try to rally a change or support or something in Tallahassee. And you know how important that can be.
Yes.
And we don't have a lobbyist. That's something else that I think I've heard comments about, but this would at least would alert us where we could go up there and march the halls and try to affect legislation if it's going to negatively impact us.
$2,000 worth, huh?
2153 is our part.
Well, I support FAC, at least what they do. I don't always support the agenda, but specific agenda items. But the one thing is they certainly have helped our county and counties like ours, small counties and fiscally restrained counties, really get up and compete with the larger counties for state funding. So I'm in support. I think it's a good it's a good amount of money just to spend.
No, I don't disagree with you. There's a lot more representatives in South Florida.
Oh, yeah.
In one county than there is in all of North Florida. And they get little pet projects going down there. They want to strip away rights from counties as far as home rule and different things. And facts have been in the forefront of protecting home rule and putting us on notice when we need to be there.
Yeah.
This is pretty much what Mr. Harris said, a funding source for getting out the word, alerting the public. When certain amendments come up or certain legislative action in the House and in the Senate. So I'm in favor of it.
I agree with you, Mr. Chairman,
I definitely agree.
and Mr. Richardson.
You need a motion to approve that, Mr. Harris, or you just making
Yes,
us
sir.
aware of it?
If you don't mind.
Move to approve.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Richardson. Do I have a
Second.
second? Second by Commissioner Stapleton. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Next item I need to bring to your attention is a letter that we received from Alachua County Board of County Commissioners. They are, my read of this letter, and I'm going to try to give you the summary version. They're opposed to the extension of the turnpike and any type of expressways or toll roads coming through their county. They're not actually using that language. What they're saying is that they are recommending that counties adopt a comp plan amendment, comprehensive land use plan text amendment, and put it in your comp plan, essentially opposing any expressways or turnpikes. Alachua County has taken a position that there's no need for or public purpose for new turnpikes, expressways, or toll roads that are significantly outside of existing highway rights-of-way within the county.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I was at the meeting when this was discussed. I could only tell you what was discussed at that meeting from the other counties. There's little known about this project. I think it's far out. I don't recall anyone else wanting to make that stand at the North Florida Planning Council meeting. I just want you guys to have that information. I mean, it's,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I had some discussions with a constituent of mine about this, and I think I didn't have a problem with this thing at first, thinking, hey, this is an opportunity, more traffic. It's not an opportunity for more traffic. The reality of it is it's an opportunity to take traffic away from the major interstates that we have around us. Alachua County's concerned because it would come in underneath their county and bypass them completely. A lot of truck traffic and traffic that I believe is local, people that are just trying to get to either Tallahassee or I-10 or just traveling, willing to pay the tolls to get on it. But my concern is the amount of traffic it's going to take off of I-10. And especially if, it makes it easier for truckers to get down to Central Florida, but we also depend a lot on that e-commerce in our local areas too. Being a toll road, it's really not going to change our tourism traffic. It's going to really affect our e-commerce. Our everyday traffic comes out of I-10. And I don't think it's going to help us at all to have this in. It's going to pocket. It's interesting what I was told this, I don't know if you guys were informed of this, but certain landowner or certain businessmen in the state of Florida have bought up swaths of land that will be purchased by the state of Florida or has been purchased by the state of Florida to put this road in, and that the local economies aren't really being affected. It's these certain rich people that are buying up all the land to do it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it was because I don't know it was just told to me by somebody I deeply respect. But I do think that it's something that it's going to affect us negatively on I-10 side. When we have plenty of room, if they want to make traffic a little bit less hectic on I-75, put more lanes of traffic in. We got plenty of room for them to put more lanes of traffic on. That's just my.
That's actually a problem because of the water retention. And
Is it?
when it comes to engineering, they've got to retain all of the water from that impervious area. And they met with me, DOT came and met with me about 6 years ago and talked about this, some type of alternative route to extend down to the turnpike from the north end of the state. But if you go back to about mid-1970, it was actually 76, 77, DOT had the same commotion going on in the state then. What Alachua County cites here is what they're saying is recently adopted comp plan language from Marion County. If you go to Marion County to the west side where all the horse farms are, they've got signs everywhere, no turnpike or something like that. I don't remember what they say. I saw some not long ago. So they're opposing, a turnpike extension coming through those horse farms. And you'll see that in other counties too. But the reality is what they say in their language is that it wouldn't serve any public purpose. Well, that's kind of ridiculous. It will serve a public purpose. I mean, if you travel the interstate anywhere near any holidays, it's backed up bumper to bumper for miles. And it was that way before they widened it the last time, and it's already that way again. And our population keeps growing, and tourism continues to grow, and the traffic has to go somewhere, and they don't have enough existing right-of-way right now on I-75. So they've been looking for an alternative route for years. I don't know when this is going to happen. I remember the conversations back in the 70s, though.
Well, they were trying to push through some legislation last year
Yeah, they are. They're trying to get it in.
that was supposed to be funding for it. I don't remember if it went through or
I
not.
think it's 2031.
I think you're right.
2031.
I think you're right. I think that number was thrown out.
2031, 32, somewhere in there, that there will be an extension off the turnpike to go through wetlands. And I don't know how that's gonna, work over with going through wetlands.
I can tell you this, out of all the counties that are represented in the meeting I was at 13 counties, I believe it is? There was only two things that was clear. Alachua County was against it, and Madison County was for it. And
Yep.
everyone in between just didn't know enough about it, and they were trying to get them to pass a resolution.
Yeah.
And that board decided not to because they just didn't have enough information.
And the other thing is where they're proposing this extension goes, it's really, in a sense, and from an environmental standpoint, the impact that it's going to have on this, it's going to roll up through a swamp area, either on the east side of 19, or it's going to be over in the lower areas in the west side, if they go up on the
Somewhere
other
near
side. Somewhere in there, it's going to
44,
affect,
Road
there's going to be a huge environmental impact on this. My concern is they spend this money to do it, whatever money they gain from the tolls is not going to, is nowhere going to come close to reimbursing the state on what the money that they're going to cost on impacts. And the other thing is, from what I understood from Alachua County is that what they meant by that was, or at least in a sense, there was not going to be any economic benefit to any county in the state, because these are toll roads. People don't get off of toll roads. What do they have? They have nothing but their little stations in the middle of the turnpike. That's what they're probably going to put.
Well,
in
they're
there.
just flat wrong, that's all.
I
there
think
is
to say,
to
I've
it.
gotten off of it several times.
The issue.
I mean, it may be, but I just,
You may not make anything from the, toll roads are going to pay big money, but the reality is, the economy of Florida would be nothing without these major highways coming in here. If we were back to the old two-lane roads, old 301, if that's all we had today, we'd be in trouble. So the reality is, the more people that come in on the highways and spend their money and go back where they came from, the better. But a lot of them are moving here and living here. What they're really trying to accomplish here is what they believe is going to be a stalling tactic in the courts. Because if the decision is ultimately made in the legislature that this road is going to be built, then Alachua County and any allies that they can rally to their cause will challenge it in court, and that's all this is really about. Because they would come back and argue that their comprehensive land use plan was adopted, and this is now in the language in the plan, and the state shouldn't be imposing their will on home rule, and on and on and on the arguments can go. I could sit here and choreograph it, I'm sure, but that's really what this is about. Right, Mr. Pravat?
Well, I'll probably be standing on the side, still side directing, going for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it hasn't come up to this board yet. I think Mr. Hill may be the only one that it's come up to a board that he sits on.
Well, this was a letter sent to us. They're asking us to adopt
That's,
policy.
Did that come
they
just
send
this
crazy
week,
letters all the time, though. I'm not concerned.
Mr. Chairman? Did that come just this week? Or did it come after my meeting there? Because I did speak to it. And if I gave them any,
It says, please do not share with Commissioner Hale.
yeah. I was going to say, if I gave them any notion to think that I was in favor of it, I think what I spoke to, there were some people talking about just what Commissioner Richardson was talking about, the environmental impact it was going to have.
Yeah.
And I named off about 4 or 5 other things that we are dealing with right now that is hurting or is having an impact on our
This is
natural
actually-
resources.
Yes, dated August 12. I don't know when they sent it, but the letter itself is dated August 12.
there is a suggestion, though.
Well, they can send a letter. We don't have to take any action on it. I mean,
We don't.
we get letters all the time from representatives in other counties down south making the most ridiculous requests.
Oh, yeah.
Never even make it to the board for consideration.
Sure.
But there's something that, Mr. Chairman, there's something that counties are doing that is something that's proactively dealing with even small issues like home rule. When I say small issues, I don't mean small issues like home rule. I mean small issues where home rule is affecting certain counties, where the counties adopt some sort of a I don't know how it's exactly explained to me, but basically it's seeking for compensation for loss of revenues to the counties. I don't know if it's something that's even feasible in courts, but it could even be defended against. But I don't want the state to do something that's going to take away from our commerce. I really don't. And I certainly don't want to do it on the backs of our environment.
I think it was gonna try to run it through Brantford, is what they were talking about.
Yeah, well,
So if the board has no interest in considering this, then I won't bring it back on a future agenda.
At this time, we don't. I mean,
I think we'll be.
I've got mixed feelings about the turnpike, but personally, I believe it's inevitable. There's going to be a road come down the west coast eventually.
That's
And
the-
it is going to take traffic from I-75 and I-10. And those happen to be the two interchanges that we're working to develop as hard as we can. And obviously, if you're trying to develop something, you don't want to take away from it. But,
75, I think, is the biggest thing they're trying to relieve.
Do what?
I think
That's true.
I-75 is where
Yeah.
they're trying to take some of that traffic from.
You got two choices. It's plain simple. I mean, trust me, I feel for those folks that don't want the trees cut down and go through the wetlands and all that, but you're either gonna build more roads because you got people moving in every day, just like you build more houses, or we got to be like the Jetsons. I mean, we got to start flying around. One or two things gonna happen. I mean, it's just a fact.
It is.
I'm not being disrespectful to them, but I mean, that's just it.
No, it's part of the cycle, man.
It is.
441, 41, those were the main roads, and now they're graveyards. I-75 and I-10's the new one, and one day they'll slow down too. That's just the cycle of it, but, and no matter really what stance is, if the state gets their mind wrapped up that they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. So, I don't care to see it back no time soon, Mr. Harris.
Okay.
I don't think anyone else does either.
And I don't think it's gonna affect Suwannee County. I really don't, from.
Well, they
just-
did show a route or two coming through Suwannee County.
They did,
Right
but
up 129
Yeah.
is one of them.
some of the ones that they were talking the other night was going through Taylor, Madison, and maybe popping out down there somewhere around Newberry and Bronson. They had so many different things they were talking about.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
so do we need to make clear what we feel to Mr. Hale, since he's representing us on the board?
Sounds a little wishy-washy over there.
I think he's got it.
I got y'all.
Mr. Chairman, I didn't have anything else to share with you this evening.
Thank you, sir. Well, I guess that next item on general business, and you don't have anything I-75 and 136 interchange?
No, sir, we're still plugging away with that. You do have,
Got some additional agenda
yeah,
items.
you have one additional agenda item.
You have to bear with me. I had it laying right here, and I don't see it now.
You have my copy?
I found it. He threw it at me. I won't. That's the official copy, isn't it? All right, approval of change order with Anderson Columbia for work associated with widening and resurfacing 129th Road, which is Hughes Road. Budget impact decrease from in the amount of $31,256. Mr. Harris?
Couple of areas that are very low and wet, we want to raise those, and when we adjust for not doing a certain amount of milling and make some other adjustments in quantities, it actually results in a decrease in the amount of $31,256.20, and I'm requesting that you approve that. If they're out there working, we're pushing the time clock as well on that one.
These two low spots, are they north of 252, or is one of them south of 252?
I think they're both north of 252. Jimmy here? Yeah, both north.
I know one of them's due.
There was, isn't there one south of 252 that'll swallow a truck?
You mean that swallowed a truck?
But it's slated to be.
We will be.
It's on this
Yeah,
contract.
we're going to go south of 252 too, also,
Yeah.
but
That's where that truck went off the road.
Yeah, it's between there and the floor, or the Luther's place, that first dirt road to the left, right there.
164th Road, right there by 164th, is that what it is?
Yeah. All right, any other discussion?
Do we have to approve that?
Yes.
Move to approve.
Got a motion to approve by Commissioner Richardson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Commissioner Fleming. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. That was the only one, wasn't it, Mr. Harris?
pardon me?
That was the only additional agenda item?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
This time we'll open the floor to public comment and concerns. Anyone wishing to speak, they'll make their way to the podium. Name and address for the record. Seeing none, we'll close public comment, go on to board members' requests and comments. Mr. Richardson, you got anything for us?
I just wanted to say, we'll send our condolences out to the Barnes family. Those of you who may not know, Mr. Jerry Barnes died last night. And he's a big farmer in our area, and he's a good man, good family. And we just want to let the family know that we're really, our thoughts and prayers are with them. That's all.
Mr. Fleming?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anything, but I'd just like to let everyone of remember the ones that flood victims right now. It could be to us. I think we pretty much, I guess, we're out of harm's way, but there's a lot of more people that's in harm's way. Let's pray for them, those individuals. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Hale?
I'll just say the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been affected by this, and we don't know how many more. Just keep those families, those people in your prayers. And I do want to say, once again, our EOC was on their game. We were ready. I think the county, everyone was ready, and I just appreciate all of you guys. Love being part of that.
Mr. Stapleton?
Yes, sir, I'll just say the same thing. I mean, that storm, we've been talking about that thing for a week, and it's going to be another week, looks like, so, but we're thinking about everybody. On a lighter note, I would like to express my condolences to Commissioner Hale on behalf of the board for your Seminoles.
Ooh, that was bad, wasn't it?
Uh-oh.
Was that a high school team they played?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, goodness.
I don't have anything other than Thursday night is Lieutenant Colonel Alan West will be at Camp Weed speaking. There's still tickets available if anybody wishes to go and listen to him. Other than that, just need a motion.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I just want to comment real quickly. There's one thing I want to say. I'm absolutely amazed at the organized effort that went out all over the country to bring people in here to help us in Florida. I'm telling you, I was on I-75 for just a short spell yesterday and the day before, and I saw hundreds and hundreds of convoys of ambulances and utilities trucks, tree clearing equipment, and I'm just really humbled by the efforts of those people in all these other states to come here and help us out. I hope that we don't need all of their help. I hope that thing skipped right on past us. But I'm really thankful that it was there and that the state communicates with these other states as well. I saw license plates from Wisconsin and Indiana, Kentucky, and just all over the place heading in here to help us out. So I'm real thankful for that, and I just wanted to share my appreciation for those that are trying to make a difference.
Yeah, we were on 75 Saturday, and it was one after the other
Yeah.
for about an hour. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Motion. I heard it counted down there.